Almost everything that goes wrong on a British doorstep goes wrong because of good manners. You were raised not to leave people standing outside, to offer tea, to apologise for the state of the place, and wave somebody through to the front room. Those instincts are decent. They have served you well for 60 or 70 years. And there is exactly one situation in this country where they will cost you dearly. It is 9 o'clock at night. There are 2 police officers on your step, and neither of them is angry, and neither of them is accusing you of anything. One of them smiles and says, "Sorry to bother you this late. We've just come to check you're okay." And in that sentence, the kindest thing an officer will ever say to you is a doorway. Because it is not a question about your health. It is a request to come in wearing the clothes of concern. And it works precisely because refusing it doesn't feel like standing on your rights. It feels rude. It feels ungrateful towards 2 people who came out in the dark because somebody was worried about you. So you step back half a pace without ever deciding to. And in that second, you hand away the single strongest legal protection you will ever hold. So over the next few minutes, I want to hand you a single sentence. One calm, polite sentence that answers their concern honestly, keeps you entirely on the right side of the law, and does not let anybody through your front door who has no lawful power to be there. And I'll show you exactly what the law says about welfare visits, including one line from the law itself that almost nobody has heard, and that turns this whole conversation around. Stay with me to the end, though, because the sentence is the easy half. The hard half is the second thing they say, the follow-up. 10 seconds later, once you have politely declined. That follow-up is what actually decides whether anyone ends up standing in your hallway, and it catches the people who were sure they knew exactly what they were doing. I'm Oliver Bennett. For 15 years, I defended people in police stations and courtrooms across England and Wales, and the doorstep is where I watched more ordinary, decent people lose their footing than anywhere else, because it is the one place where the law is completely on your side, and your upbringing's completely against you. This isn't legal advice. It's the plain English version of what I wish every person in this country understood before somebody knocks. Let me start with why the threshold of your front door matters so much more than people realise. In English law, your home is not just where you live. It is the place where the state's powers are at their weakest and yours are at their strongest. Out on the street, an officer can approach you, speak to you, and in the right circumstances, search you. At your door, almost none of that applies. He is standing on one side of a line and you are standing on the other, and unless he has a specific legal power or your permission, that line does not move. Which means the entire question, the whole thing comes down to one word: consent. Not whether they were polite, not whether you had anything to hide, whether you invited them in. And here is what changes the moment you do. Anything in plain sight becomes something they have lawfully seen. The conversation stops being a doorstep chat and becomes an interview happening in your living room on body-down video while you are in your slippers and off balance. And practically speaking, asking somebody to leave your home once they're settled in, it is a great deal harder than not letting them in. Because now you're the one being awkward in your own house, in front of 2 people with notebooks. You have not been arrested. You have not been detained. You have simply politely given away the strongest position you will ever hold. Now the law itself, because this is the part almost nobody has heard, and it is genuinely on your side. There is no such thing in law as a police of entry for a welfare check. It does not exist. There is no section of any act that says an officer may come into your home because somebody rang up and said they were worried about you. That phrase is a description of why they've turned up. It is not a power. What they actually rely on when they rely on anything is Section 17 of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act 1984. Section 17 sets out the circumstances in which an officer may enter premises without a warrant. And the part that matters here is subsection 1, paragraph E, entry for the purpose of saving life or limb or preventing serious damage to property. Read those words carefully because they are not gentle words. Saving life or limb. That is emergency language. It is written for the moment an officer believes somebody behind that door is about to die or be seriously hurt. And here is the line I promised you, the one that changes the entire conversation. When the courts have looked at this power, they have been blunt about the threshold. Concern for